Happy Friday evening, Buckeye Scoop family, Buckeye Nation. Hope all is well with you. Listen, do me a favor, hit that like button. If you have not already, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. Also, for you non-YouTubers who don't mess with YouTube like that, podcast on Apple. Make sure you save us there on Apple Podcasts. For you non-Apple folks like me, Spreaker.com is the best non-Apple site, in my opinion. Go there, save us there. We would greatly appreciate it. We're going to be talking about. I missed the breaking news with the video, the Michigan locker room video last night. I was sorry, but I'm gonna be able to weigh on it because it's going viral, over 1 million impressions plus. So we're going to talk about that, and then also we're going to talk about an update on that internal investigation. Remember, that's still going on, so we'll talk about that. Also, remember, next we got the homie Dev. He will be doing a show with Epi and Zion Grady. Great lineup. 2 future studs, current studs, but they're going to be even more studly next season. So make sure you get ready for that at 8:15 p.m. And then also remember, when you send those super chats, helps to go towards the pay it forward, which is our military and our first responders. We're going to look out for them because they always look out for us. Funky, what's up, brother?
What's up, B? And what an insane 24 hours it's been
Yeah.
for, all 4 of us. It's funny because me and B were the only 2 people that, were on the show yesterday with Devin Nevada taking charge. But now clearly y'all saw um, what I was able to report yesterday. And it's funny, before I even, reported it to all of you guys, I put in a personal chat with the 4 of us and I was like, look what I just got sent.
Right.
Look at this. And I was like, what the heck do I even do with this? I mean, what a story. What an absolute insane thing for funky Buckeye to get a hold of, B. It's just insane how stuff like this just falls on your lap, and it just makes you question everything about, the University of Michigan and their standards they hold their players to. If just someone, a college kid in Santa Barbara can just fall on this, how much stuff is there out there? There has to be more, and there definitely is more. Like, because you don't see this stuff happening with any other college in America. You
Yeah.
just don't, and it's incredible. And for those who don't know, I was able to obtain what I believed at the time and what I can confirm now to be exclusive video of the University of Michigan football players smoking some sort of weed pen in the locker room, in their own locker room. What an absolute insanity. Just absolutely insanity. Well, I've not been able to confirm who they are, but I've been able to confirm that it is either, in fact, Malachi Lee's locker room, who's an incoming freshman offensive tackle from Hawaii, but I do not think I see him in the video. But whose locker room I think it is Nate Marshall. He was a true freshman last year, so he'll be going into his sophomore year. I mean, top 50 kid, a talented kid, but talk about a lack of thinking and a lack of discipline. And it just kind of shows you the kind of kids Michigan's getting. Talented kids on paper, highly recruited kids, but kids who genuinely chase bags. And when you chase a lot of money, you probably, are prone to other stuff that Ohio State is just not accepting. There's a reason why you don't see stuff like this happening in the Woody for literally in my lifetime, B. You just don't.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you don't see anything like this ever, and it's because we really have to be careful who we take in. So just think about that. Next time we miss out on a recruit and primarily for money reason, think about, hey, we don't know what kid we're actually getting. Like, we don't know these kids like this. So if this is Ohio State, I would want, him to be kicked off the team and go elsewhere, because it's an embarrassment. It's absolutely embarrassing. And I know, college kids smoke weed, and I know it's legal in Michigan technically if you're over 21 or if you have a med card or whatever the heck. I can totally get that. But it's just where and when, B. It's doing that
Yeah.
in the locker room. And what an absolute crap show. And just plays into everything we've been telling you guys about Michigan's ongoing culture and dysfunction.
Yeah, and real quick, to be fair, you're not the average kid from Santa Barbara. I mean, you got the goods, brother. You keep showing more and more that you got the goods. So
True.
to be
Yeah.
fair, you the man. You are the man. So let's just straighten that out. But yeah, I just want to address this because again, I was off yesterday, and I heard about this in the group chat, saw it, and I saw some of the reactions. Even from Buckeye fans. Listen, we're well aware that weed is not meth or crack or whatever, and weed is more acceptable and legal in some places. We get that. We understand, like Funky said, college students, some of them smoke weed. Like, y'all missing it. That's not our focus. It's if there were Buckeye players in the Woody, in the locker room, hotboxing, smoking, carrying on like this. First of all, if it was Ohio State, we always get way worse. Way worse. I mean, this would have been on ESPN by now. Feinbaum would have been at our neck by now. That's just how it is. But it's the goofiness of in the locker room, literally in the locker room, carrying on. Then you video. Come on, like, what are y'all doing? It's not just about smoking weed. It's the antics. It's the culture of thinking this is cool. You can do this and video it. And it's just cool. That's what the issue is. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a good look, especially after the years of consistent tomfoolery in that program. And now Whittingham is there. He's like, it's just like, come on, man. How can y'all not see this is not cool? Go beyond just, it's just weed. Nah, like, if Buckeye players were doing this, I would be like, man, come on. I don't know about kicked off the team, but at least suspended. At least. But the point is, it's just dumb. It's not a good look. And like I said, it's gone viral. I mean, people are the reactions have varied, but either way, this ain't a good look, Funky.
Yeah, I mean, it's you nailed it. Obviously, the location and where they're doing it, and even worse, posting it on social media. It's like, I mean, as most of you guys know, I'm a Division 1 athlete myself. I run a Division 1 school, and I've a bunch of friends that run or compete at the D1 level, and I like talking. They always talk about stuff I report, and we always talk about together, and they're like, man, it's like a lot of them said like I'd be lying to you if I've never seen someone, smoke in the locker room, but the film it and the post it is just next level, B. Like just
Yeah.
next level, it's just dumb. It's like, how do you feel comfortable doing that? Like, how do you feel comfortable posting that on your social medias? And that was recent. That was not like some months ago. That was recent. That was when Malachi Lee was on campus. He is a true freshman this year. He signed his
Yeah.
letter. He was late to sign his letter of intent. So this was after the Sharon Moore stuff. That was so all that stuff happened, and they go back to the locker room and whatever, and then these antics happen. So this happened recently. This happened under Kyle Winningham or Biff Poggi, and it just speaks to yeah, and it doesn't help this internal investigation of just complete malpractice that's happening within the athletic department that's still ongoing. I
Yeah.
mean, how can Ward, this is just another, even though not even nearly as big as some of these other big scarlet letters on Michigan's chest for Ward Manuel himself, but it's just another one. It's just a snowball that keeps on moving, keeps on moving, keeps on moving. And you just got to realize it's like, how can you send your kids to this Michigan? How can you let them compete at this high of a level without making some major, major changes within the athletic department? And that starts with Ward Manuel.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. It's just, again, you could try to excuse it on different levels, but man, it's really bad, especially with everything that's going on with their program. And you mentioned the internal investigation, and we can kind of go ahead and jump on that because a little bit of an update with that. Let me pull this up. Got the homie Intrinsic who posted this. And so here's his caption. There will be more casualties from this. This is a quote from this article I'm about to skim through. Investigators are prepared to fire more people at Michigan. This is bigger than players smoking weed literally inside a locker. This is what years of sex, crime, cheating, and blackmail looks like. Culture, hashtag Sharon Moore. So this write-up is from Chris Bayless, okay, from On3. And it says Michigan football winter conditioning is going strong, and there's an enthusiasm in the building that was lacking for some time. Despite all the talk of culture, many of the players were well aware of what was going on extracurricularly, we'll call it. some were already making plans to pursue the portal before the end of the year. In fact, several sources have told us there will have been much more attrition had Sharon Moore stayed. Okay, whatever. But more here, it says, as for the staff, many of the holdovers and some in the athletic department are still waiting for final say on the investigation, which has gone much longer than anticipated. There will be more casualties from this, including some of you might not expect. One predicted one long-time on and off employee interviewed gave it to the investigators straight, and that appears to have opened a new can of worms in some areas. So nothing to report on that yet, but he's basically saying that heads are going to roll. There's a canary singing, and it's going to be more people to get whacked. And then here's his response to a comment: everyone who had association with staff is being looked at. So I know there was some skepticism with the internal investigation if it was actually going to yield any actual accountability results. If Chris Bayless is correct, looks like it is. And so we're going to see. But what's your thoughts on this, Funky, this investigation update?
I mean, none of that is shocking to me. You're telling me the people that were associated with, Sharon Moore and part of that Harbaugh era at Michigan have skeletons in the closet? Like, color me shocked, B. I
Right.
mean, that could not have been the more obvious thing ever. I mean, they're filled with skeletons in the closet since Jim Harbaugh went out there and publicly said that we will do anything to win. We'll cross the line and more. This painting has been getting painted for, I mean, years on years on years on years. So of course that there's stuff going on wrong, B. I mean, it's ridiculous, and anyone associated with Sharon Moore knows what was happening. Like, how do you think Spiro knew what was happening? And you think no, Sharon Moore's coaches didn't know what was happening? Like, come on. Like, let's be real. It's when that word comes out and start getting told to, reporters and people like, oh, we knew, like all the coaches knew what was happening. And even people are making jokes about it on social media prior to the fact. Obviously, some people still denied it has ever happened. And some people famously, Sam Webb, famously said that nothing is going on and nothing is wrong with the program at all. Moments later, the whole incident happens with the Sharon Moore, and he ended up going to jail. So this painting has been in the making for a while, and we're going to see a lot of pretty much every coach that was coaching under Sharon Moore is going to be in hot waters. Is going to be in hot waters, as they should be, because
Yeah.
like I said, because when you know something like that's happening, B, you're a mandate reporter. You have to report about it. You have to talk about what you're seeing. You can't just hide it. You can't just, seal your lips and be, oh, I can't say anything because it's the head coach. No, you have to talk about that kind of stuff. You can't just keep that stuff under wraps and hope that the blue wall doesn't come down and you beat Ohio State and everything's all happy and jolly. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They were betting so much on that game, it's not even funny. Because if
Yeah.
they don't win that game, then none of this happens. None of this happens. It's all happy. It's all joyful. They make the playoffs. Yeah, I mean they easily make or probably make the playoffs. 10-2. At least they're very happy. If they miss the playoffs, they claim they got robbed. Or they have
Right.
Bryce Underwood. They whatever. They're all Larry Ellison, all this money. They feel really happy. They feel really jolly of where they're at, and they're thinking they're going to win the national championship next year. Instead, they lose, and then people start talking, and then they fire Sharon Moore, and then we saw all the dominoes that fell from there. But none of that would happen unless they got beaten by Ohio State. So this whole entire internal investigation is still a bunch of bogus. Like the reality, it would never happened. So we'll see what actually ends up happening. But it's the least shocking thing in the world to me that there's everyone associated with Sharon Moore and Jim Harbaugh has a big scarlet letter on their chest. I mean, that
Right.
that could not have been more obvious.
Yeah. And speaking of Scarlet Letter, before I get to Spiro, and yes, Stilly Matt, I love this wrecking ball pick. It's hilarious. But I didn't get a chance to talk about the Stallion stuff. And so, his appeal, his goofy, ridiculous appeal was denied. And, just some bullet points to remind people that this young man destroyed evidence. Okay. He threw his laptop and phone into the bottom of the lake. Okay. He did not cooperate with investigators. I'm looking at the report now, the denied appeal update. He's getting an 8-year show cause, already served a year or close to a year. And yeah, he's done. He's done. I don't think anybody would hire him anyway. But just to remind y'all, Michigan cheated. They didn't get the 2-year bowl ban because the NCAA said in their document they're going a different direction. They didn't want to hurt the kids. I'm going to keep reminding y'all of that. For those who don't know yet, they were required to get a 2-year bowl ban. The NCAA investigative team said, boom, all of this foolishness requires a 2-year bowl ban. The COI then steps in and says, no, don't want to hurt the kids. We'll just take their money. They absolutely cheated. He covered it up. They covered it up. That's just want to remind y'all of that. So with Stallions, I'm glad he's not working the social media circuit right now. He's a clown. And knock on wood, so hopefully somebody doesn't pull him back out to do another interview. He just needs to go away. But yes, the cheaters keep talking about how they didn't cheat. Real quick, I want to show. Let me go to another tweet from Spiro. I'm on my Twitter. I'm gonna go to this because I thought this was golden. So this is Justin Spiro. He said only one fan base on earth had to spend Super Bowl Sunday defending the legitimacy of a past title. And you got all these comments, trying to justify their cheating. Oh, see, Mike McDonald's a great coach. And so we didn't cheat. It wasn't the signs. Two things can be true. You can have good coaches and also be cheaters. I never said Harbaugh wasn't a good coach. Harbaugh is a good coach. How good is debatable, but he's a good coach. But guess what? He's a cheater. And he disregarded the NCAA rules. It's on record. Go up to the line and cross it. His own, what is it called? Infractions representative. I forget what you call them in the facility. When they're funky, I think he's about to cut in. Whoever the person is that tells you, hey, this might be a broken rule with the NCAA. I can't remember the name for it. That person in the interview said that they were completely cut off. They weren't taken seriously. They were pushed away. He's a cheater.
Compliance
officer. That's it.
Yeah.
You can be a cheater and also be a talented coach. So that doesn't, and what Mike McDonald was there for 3 months, funky or something like that. Like, just stop it. So I wanted to show
one season. Yeah.
1 season. I mean, just look, you're cheaters. Stop it. So let's go back to the wrecking ball, because guess who called me before the show randomly, funky?
Spiro?
Justin Spiro. Justin Spiro called me. I'm looking at my phone like, oh, what's Justin want? So he basically, and I can't get into everything right now. I can't get into it. Funky, I'll get into it with you after the show.
This is news to me. I know.
Yeah, he randomly hit me up. And so just know that his big story he's been working on will be breaking very soon. I don't want to tell you a day. He has a day in mind, but I can't tell you a day. But it's going to be very soon. And there's going to be some very interesting things in that story. And Funky, you're going to laugh when I tell you the one thing. But just know what's coming. And I wish I could say more right now, but be on the lookout for the Spiro story, hence the wrecking ball that he posted with all hilarity. I thought it was great, but wanted to drop that on y'all. Funky, any reaction?
I mean, you could not have told me better news today, B, because it was getting a little dry here in the off season, and it was just bound for something to happen. So when I got that video sent to me, it felt like I literally struck gold. I had a big smile on my face, and I was like, wow, this is just great. I mean, I was very, very, very pleased, and I had something, to talk about, with you guys. The board can get excited, before we go into this official visit season. It just, yeah, I mean, it gave us a new life here on the YouTube channel, and I'm very, very excited about it. So I'm excited to hear what Spiro has to say whenever he wants to talk about it. But I only can confirm one thing, that it's good, because Spiro doesn't say anything he never doesn't bring the goods. It's always the goods, and I'm very, very excited for it.
Yep.
Even more excited to continue to troll Michigan about their smoking behaviors in the locker room. Because now this is something we can say whenever a recruit wants to go there. It's like, hey, if you want to go there, if you really want to be part of, smoking weed in the locker room, because they definitely can do that. They can go 9-3 and, smoke in the locker room. But besides that, you won't win many. You'll win some football games, not much. You might win a bowl game, won't be an important one, but you'll be pretty average and mediocre. And that's kind of what Michigan's been my entire life. So I'm glad that we're back to the normal, Michigan behaviors for this offseason.
Absolutely. And yes, Eric Dugan, I'm with you. Please miss me, people in the chat talking about let it go. No, we're not going to let it go. How about that? And on top of that, as stuff keeps breaking, as they keep doing things, as their fans keep bringing it up without us saying anything, yeah, we're going to react to it. Yeah, they're just like there's other programs I'm not going to say right now that we have not let them, I guess, disassociate themselves with certain things. Same thing. Same thing. To this day, their fan base posts articles of Tressel as if he did something terrible. No, I'm not letting it go. I don't care what you say or what you think. So just want to make that clear. They're cheaters. What they did was ridiculous. And again, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's not as if that was just it, Funky. Like, okay, they cheated, the ruling came down, whatever, and then that was it. There's been more. There's been more foolishness. There's been more ridiculousness. There's been more scandal. There's been more what in the balls just happened. There's been more a butter knife. There's been more, yeah, right. Are you kidding me? More. So we're going to react to it. And guess what? We've been the ones to get the information over even the Michigan sites about things that have been going on, including with Spiro, who will reveal to y'all some things in his article associated with us as well. I'll just say that. So yeah, we're going to keep talking about it when it makes sense to talk about it. So there you go. So anyway, any response to that, Funky?
Well, it's just funny because anything we do post too, then they immediately go, it's fake or it's meaningless. Like, who cares if they smoked in the locker room? It's like completely normal. Or it's AI, didn't happen. And you can even talk about it. It's like if you ask, anyone from the other Michigan sites about, oh, you did what's is this stuff about them smoking in the locker room true? They'll all be like, oh, I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it. Could be AI, could not be AI. Like, I'll tell you guys right now, I wish I had good enough AI skills for that, B. Like, I wish I could do something
Right.
like that. Like, it was a whole, like, I even had SB to help me, edit it down so we don't, have a big N word on the screen. And it's like, we can actually maybe post it on like the
Right.
YouTube or stuff. And it's like, and, like not show exactly whatever. So it's like, it just made me laugh because it's like they're just deflecting. And I'm sure that's exactly what's going to happen at the new Spiro article. It's going to be, very critical it's filled with facts and stuff that is true, and it's just going to be, responded with, "It's not true. Why do you keep talking about this? Stop talking about it. Like, what? None of this is true. Just more lies. Blah 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 blah." When over and over again, we continue to get proven right and right, uh,
Yeah.
all the time, and it's the blue wall media that be. That's the difference between Michigan and Ohio State is Michigan reporters and in general will literally do anything to protect the program while Ohio State reporters and Columbus reporters are trying to find the next hit piece about the program.
Exactly.
That really is the
So
big
true.
difference. Like, you think if Chris Bayless got sent the video I got sent, do you think he would have reported on it?
No.
0% chance. A 0% chance. But do you think if the Columbus Dispatch got a video of whoever, whatever, some defensive end for Ohio State smoking weed in the locker room, do you think they would have reported on it? Absolutely.
1000%.
Yep.
With
They would have
with
100
glee.
with
With
glee.
glee.
And we have people going out on their podcast saying that we want the basketball team to, lose every single game the rest of the season. They're like, it's better if we lose now because the whole program's in shambles. It's like, you think you would ever hear that from the Michigan side? Absolutely not. So, and I'm not saying that's wrong or right. I'm just saying that's the big difference between the Ohio State media and the Michigan media, where I feel like we're a lot more honest, even if that hurts us sometimes.
True. That's 1000% true. And this
Mhm.
goes back to Tackgate. And it frustrated me because back at Tackgate, it wasn't that they were just, oh, we're reporting truth. No, they were regurgitating things, claims that had no evidence, and they were just consistently attacking, and taking the far negative side of the story, our local media. And so that's why I just laugh when other fan bases say, "Oh well, Columbus and Ohio and the city is going to protect Ohio State players, and you can just get away with. No, they can't. When JT Barrett got his DUI, guess what? They didn't cover that up. He got reported. He had to do his. I'm like, it don't work like that here. It just doesn't. Y'all think it might, but it doesn't. And again, here's the thing. I want if a kid did something wrong and improper, then they should get what they deserve. Period. However, to me, our media goes overboard, or they'll try to dig and do whatever they got to do to find dirt on the program just because they just don't care. But like you said, talking to Michigan folks, the intrinsics who live out there, the Spiros, and just getting to know that area more, it's the opposite with the blue wall with Michigan. They do everything they can to protect. So real quick, Mark, I see you in the chat. I wanted to pull up. This is one of our Buckeye Scoop family members, Mark Swick, on the right side with that blue shirt on. He sent me this pic. This is a young, I don't know. This had to be the 80s, bro. This is very Burt Reynolds-y. Like, put it in the chat what year this was, bro. But this was hilarious. The giant dinosaur. I don't know who the guy on the left is, but he reminds me of Samwell Tarly from the Game of Thrones. Anybody seen Game of Thrones? That's who he reminds me of. I'm sorry, that's random, but I promised I was going to show that pic before the show was over. Anyway, randomness. Any response to anything I said, plus the crazy Mark Swick pic? Funky?
I was very fond. I'm not sure what year that possibly could have been from B, but I knew that looked old. So 27 years old. So I don't know how old Mark is, but that did still feel like a while ago. But I also seen photo, like, was it the Aaron Craft 3 versus Arizona in LA? I was at that game and I saw the video from that recording recently, B, and I
Yeah.
was like, how long? I was alive for that? I was like, I'm just shocked by how well the TV cameras have developed since then.
Yeah.
I literally was like, how was I alive for that game? So maybe I'm just tripping on my years, but yeah, but that's my reaction.
No, that's funny. So he said it was 27, but that was clearly, Tom. I like this. Tom Selzwick. Tom Selzwick, get it? But very, very good. I love it, man. But yeah. So look, we can get into the super chats. Before we do, though, I made another meme. Okay. For those who follow the show, I coach a basketball team, my son's basketball team, bunch of 9 and 10-year-old kids. Okay, great kids, but it's a challenge to keep them focused. Funky. Keeping 9 and 10-year-old boys focused is insane. Like, the grace of God be upon me. Great kids, but y'all know how kids are, especially boys. And their team is called the Cheez-Its. That's the name of our team. And so I told you I was going to make a meme, for the commercial, I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach. So this is me coaching our Cheez-Its team. I enjoyed making this meme, Funky. I know this is random, but here you go.
When they played in the Cheez It Bowl, even better that they lost in the Cheez It Bowl. Made what happened immediately after that. I guess a little nothing. Nah, not that I actually really cared, but beating them felt good this year. I'll tell you that beating them this year felt really good, and seeing their demise, in real time feels even better, and just gives me confidence for the future with the rivalry, because we won the Natty, not in 2020, a year ago. So so obviously losing sucked, but definitely owning them this year made this year feel like it's a success, even though we had obviously that mishaps towards the end.
No, definitely. And the thing about it is so funny what the fan base, the part of the fan base who has claimed, very few, I'm not going to act like it's a whole bunch, but it's enough to where it's annoying. Oh, the Michigan game is more important than the Natty. Well, you don't see many people. The fact that you just brought that back up is like, yeah, we did beat Michigan this year at Michigan and we dominated them, but nobody's really talking about it and celebrating it still like they normally would in years past after you beat them, because we did not win a Natty. What does that tell you? Funky, go ahead, jump in. I think
It tells you that Yeah, the obviously the Natty means more than beating Michigan. It's funny that we even have to say that, but it's literally what I told you. I was telling you the stories. I was like, I don't remember in 2019 going to bed, happy. I actually think I was crying going to bed in 2019. So I didn't care that we beat Michigan for the 10th millionth time in a row and whatever for
Right.
like the 19th time, whatever. The At that point, we only lost to Michigan once in my entire lifetime on planet Earth. So, and I happy that day? No, I was actually extremely upset. The little young Funky was literally crying. So, and just like after the Miami game, it's like I'm a little older now, so I wasn't that upset, but was definitely disappointed and definitely like had a pit in my stomach watching the entire playoffs. Not
Yeah.
not one part of me was like, at least we beat Michigan. It's like that's just part of the victory. It's like I want to beat Michigan just like I want to beat whatever Northwestern. But but I definitely rather beat Michigan than not be. So I will say
Yeah.
that I definitely rather beat Michigan than not.
Yeah. So again, let me before we move on, I'm gonna be clear again. Is beating the team up north important to us? Yes. Do not mistake what we're saying. We want to beat them. I want to dominate them every single year. Period. Just simply saying nothing is more important than a natty. Nothing will be remembered and cherished more than a natty. You got natty, team up north, Big Ten title out of the three goals. That's the hierarchy. Period. So we want to win both. We want to win a natty and beat Michigan every year. That's the goal. Both. However, the goofiness of nothing's more important even than natty to beat Michigan. You're an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be very blunt with you and very mean with you. You're not smart. So no, that was too harsh, Funky. That was mean. I'm not going to say
I
you're
don't
an
think
idiot,
so.
but I just
I
don't
think that
like the
was
take.
okay.
You think it was okay? I
I
don't
think
know.
it
I
was
felt I
okay.
felt bad. You know how you got the little two guys on your shoulder, like, man, that was harsh, B. No, tell him again. That's how I feel. It's ridiculous. But anyway, to answer your question, Soners, yes, me and Coach Grinnell, who we both coached them together, we both asked him that all the time. It's hilarious. It's like how can you not ask them? Did you wake up feeling the cheesiest? Go ahead, Funk.
No, you're right. That is funny. And yeah, our youth sports was some of my favorite moments back in the day. So definitely was, yeah, do whatever. My dad coached me my entire life, so that was always, a thing with basketball and football and soccer even for a few years. So only sport he didn't coach me in was wrestling. So that was its own other thing. So I'm like watching the Ohio State Penn State on the side. Kind of we're
Oh
getting our
yeah,
ass
I
kicked,
started.
but
Are
yeah.
we? I was.
Well, of course, we lost like the two 50-50 matchups already in like sudden
Mhm.
victory, and then we only had a chance in like five of these matchups, and we like two out of the five we lost, and then obviously our guy Jesse Mendez, I think is
Mhm.
his name. Sorry, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Yeah, had a tech fall victory, so it's like 5-6 right now. But I think the next match is probably Penn State's really good at this
Yeah,
wrestling thing.
they're number. Aren't we one and they're two?
No, they're number
Or
one by a lot. It's like
okay,
they're
they're
number
number one.
one, and then it's
Okay,
like a country mile, then it's us, and then
okay,
it's everyone else.
got you. Yep. I mean, I'm not super duper into wrestling, but I knew it was a big matchup. I had my told my guy in one of my chats to keep me posted, about it, just because it's a big deal for wrestling. You're very welcome, Saunders. Thank you for the comment. But yeah, so thank you for that update, Funky. And let's get to these super chats, man. Let's go ahead and do that. Stilly Matt, thanks for the 199. Billy D. Moses and the Funky Buck. Funky, I have to confess to you, I've been dogging you on these podcasts, bro. I've been like making fun of you, saying I was going to just dunk on you and back you down and do all manner of just nastiness on the court. So forgive me. I mean, I meant every word, but still it was very mean. And so I apologize. Now I did tell Nevada, you would have the advantage. You clearly have the cardio advantage right now. So you could just
A little bit.
run
Then
me and go
it's our
ahead.
knees are probably similar. B. Our knees are probably in the similar state in the life where the lateral movement and the backpedaling and the side to side isn't as fresh or loose as it used to be back in the
Yeah.
the young days of early club basketball or little league basketball, whatever, youth basketball, whatever you guys call it in Ohio. But yeah, no, the not a tall person either, and B's like a giant, so I think I could, take an L on that one for sure.
Yeah, I would lean on my old man. I officially have the old man strength now. I don't know. You just acquire it when you cross a certain age. And so I would lean on that, and I can still shoot pretty well. So that's what I would do. But I cannot outrun you in a distance. You would absolutely destroy me. So there's that. So yeah,
That is
all right.
true. That is true.
That's true. All right, Ernie Gonzalez, thanks for the 199. This will show if Willingham has any stones. Wait for it, or is soft as butter. Thanks for the 199. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious to see because I'm just thinking about it. Like thinking about Ohio State. Like would Ryan Day be cool with not just kids smoking weed, but smoking weed in the Woody, in the locker room, hot boxing in the locker room? Would Ryan Day be cool with that? And then the video going around, going viral. Would he be cool with that, Funky? Kids will be kids, or you think there will be some discipline? What do you think?
Oh God, it would be bad. It'd be really bad. I mean, we already know on the side how he reacted to kids, even testing positive for weed,
Yeah.
in these tests, because they'd still test them for weed. That didn't go away. And I know how, kids would get punished for even testing positive for smoking weed, even if it's completely legal and completely allowed. I know how Ryan Day and the everyone would react to, those positive tests. And it wasn't good. It wasn't good. You wonder why some of these kids maybe didn't play as much or play in certain times or, weren't participating as much as you would think and or transferred or whatever. Uh, yeah, some of them had some issues with the drug test, with the marijuana. So if they
Mm.
got posted online doing it in the team locker room, I don't even know what would have happened. It would have been all hell. You'd have to, hold Ryan Day back with like four different people.
Stay off the weed in my
Stay off
Stephen
the
A. voice.
weed. Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree. I agree. All right, Stilly Matt, thanks for the 199. We did that behind the library in seventh grade. I guess he's talking about, the smoking. Yeah. So I mean, again, this is Michigan, pure Michigan. It's just it's just funny, Funky. Over the years, they always tried to give this superiority of morality and we're better than you and you guys cheat, aka get tattoos to win, and look at them. It's a joke, and I am curious to see how Whittingham handles things like this and going forward, especially coming from the culture he comes from in Utah, and everybody knows what goes along with that and their different standards and everything else. Going to be very interesting to see how those cultures clash because it's a heck of a distinction between the two cultures. Funky.
It's gonna be just it's hard to even explain because it's just like it, it never made sense to me why Whittingham would even take on that role. Like it doesn't make sense to me, and why he would bring all those all the Utah staff and the BYU staff, whatever, to Michigan. It's like there's so many reasons why that doesn't make sense because the players you're dealing with at Michigan aren't the same players you're dealing with at Utah and BYU. The talent level you're going against in the Big Ten isn't the same. And again, and I don't think Utah coaches or BYU coaches are even on the same galaxy as these, SEC Big Ten coaches are. So I do think it's going to be a, complete utter mess. And I'm very confidently saying that because, yeah, I mean, even Utah hasn't even been all that in the Big 12 for all these years, B. So
Yeah.
I just don't know how, yeah, it just too seems like just the wrong fit for me. I've always been on that. I just don't think it's the right fit, him at Michigan. I know even Urban Meyer himself said it was an A+ hire, but I think that's more of Urban talking about Kyle Whittingham's coaching abilities
And his
and him
friend.
as a
His
coach and
Yeah.
his best friend and under his
Yep.
tree rather than an actual fit and looking actually what Michigan is right now. Because what Michigan is right now is literally just, it's prisoners running the ship. That's what it is. And it starts at the top with Ward Manuel, and it's been like this for 5 years now.
Yeah. And I'll just quickly add on that I think Urban Meyer has some bias because that's his buddy. But we're not saying Whittingham's not a good coach. Me and Nevada have both said, and I know Funky agrees that he's a good coach. He's not trash. We're talking about fit here. We're talking about longevity. Our whole thing was we're not confident this is a long-term thing. We see this as more of a short-term thing to clean up the mess with his image. He has a great reputation. He's a solid coach, coming off of the stench of the hardball, more of a transition type thing. I mean, he was already almost done, retired, and walked away. So if this was 10 years ago, Whittingham, I would have a different perspective, but it's not. Good coach, but not a long-term situation, in my opinion. So that's how I see it. And so before we bang out of here, I'm going to show y'all one more meme. Listen, I made this meme. You know how you got the Facebook memories? You got the memories that come up on your Facebook. This came up on my memories, Funky. I made this meme 10 years ago, and it still holds true to this day. Okay? When your girls say, I don't care about Valentine's Day, and that's the face expression I got, like, yeah, right. So this meme went mini viral 10 years ago on social media. And so I think it still holds true to this day. I'm going to quickly ask y'all, do y'all agree? Ladies in the chat, both gentlemen and ladies, what do y'all think about this? Valentine's Day is upon us, whether you celebrate or not. And listen, I've been married for a long time, been married going on 17 years this upcoming May. Look at God. And I know that Valentine's Day is not the only day you take your wife out and celebrate. That's year round, whatever. However, we have fun on Valentine's Day. It's fun. We enjoy it. We're going to have fun this weekend. But it's just funny when you hear certain women talking about they don't care about it. I call cap, Funky. What you got?
Yeah, well, there's not many things I've learned, but one thing I have learned is Valentine's Day means a lot to everyone, and their birthday, and the day after the birthday, and the weekend. And what I learned too is it's not just their birthday that's important, but if their birthday's on like a Tuesday, then the complete prior weekend and the weekend following also super important, also really important. So trust me, that's actually a personal mistake I've actually made. So, but yeah, you gotta have both weekends free. You can't just have one weekend, or whatever. Maybe I'm going too personal there, but yeah, it's always their birthday, anyways. So, but
Yeah, no, I get it. It depends on the lady, case by case, but I think they do care to an extent, on some level. But anyway, good stuff, fun stuff, great show per usual. Remember, we got Dev and Epi K. You put Epi and K together and it becomes epic. You like that, right? Boom. Now that was corny.
yeah.
Corny, but I'll take it. Epi K and Zion Grady, two studs, I think are going to take another step next year and really get off. Grady, Zion really flashed this year. When he had opportunities. And so I'm looking forward. Or did I say, I thought you said Epi. Zion, not Epi. I thought you said Epi was going to be on. My bad. So Zion will be on next. Either way, tune in. It's going to be a dope show about 8:15. Okay, Dev said, see, he's giving me real-time updates. Not Epi, maybe Epi. Not Epi, maybe Epi. Okay, whatever it is, the show's going to be dope. And so make sure you tune in. I'll be watching as well. But listen, love y'all, Buckeye Scoop family, Buckeye Nation. Until next time, we will see ya. Go Bucks. Peace.